Clayton Root and Elmer Murray. Elmer Murray was from Alabama. Clayton Root probably should have been from Alabama, but it wasn't. Just wow, those brought back some childhood trauma.
Clayton could crush a hammer.
I'm well aware of Clayton's prowess at crushing deer things. Yes, and then it is. They do still go by the Super Hicks up here. It's just spelled Hique. So just so you get that, it's a little more sophisticated, there. So, and I made that joke when I was principal too. So I'm not thinking. I'm just saying. Anyway, on to Joe Whitten, class of 1994. Joe was a very talented athlete, and I might be wrong, but I think he's the only baseball player to be selected to the North-South All-Star game. I'm going to go with it. Now, my experience with him, and I have a lot, I know Joe probably the best out of all these candidates, or all these inductees up here, so I might talk a little bit more about him. But my experience with him has been that of a coach. 10 seasons as the head coach at Floyd Central, then at IUS, and now at Charlestown, and he brought first-time success to each of those programs. Now, for me, one game really epitomizes Joe's prowess. This was, I believe, around 2009, sectional final at Bedford North Lawrence. Okay, at the time, very tense rivalry. Both crowds were into it. They hated us, we hated them. I believe that some of the baseball players at the time had parked themselves over next to our dugout and were heckling our athletes over there. So I think Jeff even had to go over and say, hey, you need to get out of here. But it was so contentious and mean-spirited and nasty. And it reminded me of the New Albany Floyd County School Board meeting, actually. It wasn't that bad, actually. Actually, I've been waiting all day to hear that uncomfortable laughter. And I'm just like everybody know out here that no one at the administration's table laughed at all. So just don't let that out there. It's a safe space. Anyway, it's late in the game. This situation, we are in the field, okay, and I think we're either tied, we're up by a run, something like this. They have a runner on first and third base. All right, we're in the field, and I think there's two out. Pretty sure there's two outs. And their runner on first tries to steal second base. Okay, well, of course, conventional wisdom says that when the runner tries to steal there, the one on third goes home, and they're going to take the lead. Well, we have a really good catcher. Okay, so our catcher, we're not going to screw around. We're going to throw him out. We're going to get out of this inning, go in, we're going to win the game. And the catcher comes up out of there and fires a ball all the way over the second baseman's head into center field. Okay, you see the shortstop and the second baseman go up, the center gets over the center fielder's head, they go running back towards the wall. Okay, that runner from third base goes kind of jogging in, all right, and there stands that catcher with that ball. That was a hidden ball trick. Okay, hidden ball trick. The catcher hit it behind the back. You get both of the middle infielders run out to center field. The center fielder makes it look like it's all the way to the fence. It was the best acting job I've ever seen in my life. I guarantee you there is somebody right now at Bedford North Lawrence still looking for that ball. It was so well done. Now, what I mean to point out with something like that is you can only run that play once about every 3 years. I mean, people know about that stuff. You know, definitely you only run it maybe about once, because people are going to catch on. They know you have that play. All right, so what I liked about that whole thing was that they had to rehearse that. That took practice. That took a lot of time. That took a lot of effort for something that you might never even do at all. Okay? And Joe was able to take that, call it at the right time, and have his athletes meet that moment. Okay? End up winning the section. I still remember that all these years later. Okay? So his team met the moment. Congratulations to Joe Whitten.
Coaching staff still at Bedford are still looking for that ball, and they still invite me back up there at all to referee or anything. So still looking for the ball in my hand. My first teacher here in high school told us to use props when you're not a very good public speaker. So I thought we'll do that today. You know, being in the Hall of Fame. I watched this past week, they had the NFL Hall of Fame, and then they'll have baseball, and they to get a jacket, a colored jacket, and I was thinking, well, what kind of color are they going to give us here? Are they going to be like a kill tartan, or are they going to be like plaid, or we're supposed to get a jacket? So, so I decided to bring my own today. I had to kind of steal this one because it's my brother's. So we're gonna wear the athletic varsity jacket here for the Highlanders tonight. But first off, though, that I'd like to thank is the selection committee that chose or considered us. I mean, it's quite an honor to be part of something so special. The school means so much to our family. For me, it's not about myself. It's really about our family and all the things that our family has been through here at the high school as far as work. We've had people in our family that's worked here. We've volunteered, season ticket holders for nearly 50 years, graduated. My mom and dad had 4 children, and we graduated here at this wonderful high school that we call ours. And so it's very special. So I want to spend most of my time here just thanking a lot of the people that touched my life, and for all the great moments that I had here. First of all, my father, Dad, Herschel, he gave me a ball and a glove and mental toughness. He was told me just to never give less than 100% anything you do. And if I have a moment here a little later, I'll explain that while I work here. One moment. But he taught me to make my bed, tie my shoes, and to love your mother. He said that she's the only one you're ever going to have. So I've tried to keep those pride moments about that, and I think we all should. To my mom, Marita, you've always worked to provide for your children and give us every opportunity to be successful. I'm very lucky that God chose you to be my mother. So love you very much. Thank you for all that you do. And you're a season ticket holder. I know about several high schools around here. High school, how you choose, but you always choose the best games. And so I think the community loves you dearly too. My wife Kendra, you've been by my side volunteering your days coaching with me too, providing love, support every step of the way while raising our wonderful family. 4 children isn't enough to have a basketball team, but we can play euchre and still fit everybody in a single vehicle at this time. But you're the first and last person I see every day, and I wouldn't want it any other way. My son Brady, he's an 8th grader now at Highland Hills. He's my oldest, or our oldest. He's a terrific young man, and just keep being polite and give 100% in all that you do. But I'm still going to beat you in fantasy football.
Come on, man.
My son Briar, he's a 7th grader at Highland Hills as well. He's got such wonderful talent, especially in singing. Just use your voice to bring people together. It's very magical. My only daughter is Janelle. She's 5, and you're just a joy to play house with at our house, and you make the best little Tykes ice creams. So keep being you. And then my little guy, you might have heard him here. He keeps me youthful, and I just can't wait to see where life takes him. His name's Chet. He's 2. My brother John, all I wanted to be is just as good as you. So this jacket is very special. And I'm glad to be your little brother. You pushed me, and I just thank you for coaching me, and especially throwing basketballs at my head when I wasn't swiveling defensively. And I don't know, I had a few unreported concussions probably due to mom. But that was a great defensive drill. Tried to use that here, and I got to see Mr. Jensen in the office. You can't do that, Joe. Just doing what comes in, and my brother is doing it. My sister Gina, she's not here tonight. She has a wedding with a niece on her husband's side. She always left the house. I'm the youngest of four. She always left the house when she went to for practice or when she went away to college. She'd always leave little notes to me, and it was just really a nice, motivating thing to be loved by a sibling. And she really provided us with a great role model, being a three-sport athlete in college and getting her doctorate degree and being a principal. She definitely knows what the ingredients are to be a winner, and it's really hard work and sweat. So she really showed me a lot with that. And my sister Jane, she and I spent the most time growing up together. So much that you'd sacrifice your evenings, and on your high school dates you'd take me with you because you were babysitting me. So I know that brotherly and sisterly love. I was 8, she was 16. Sorry to tell them the age, but you certainly took me under your wing, and it was a great relationship. You always took care of me, saved my life at Wave Tech one time, and so I can't thank you enough. The only way I think I can is to invite you to see a Rod Stewart concert coming up one last time in Las Vegas or something. My brother-in-laws, John, Jeff, and also Sean. You're a consummate professional in your career, all of you. You're great husbands and fathers, and I've learned poise, confidence, and how you treat others by you all. Thank you for being good role models. I have 10 nieces or nephews, but 2 of them are here tonight. They're my 2 favorites. So Scarlett, I'm very proud of you both, but I'm definitely going to add an extra sleeve of golf balls in your stocking this year for Christmas. So I really appreciate you all being here, and I've enjoyed watching you all grow and develop as professionals. I have the most wonderful mother-in-law and father-in-law that I could ever ask for. Just being blessed by them coming to all of our events, and they show us what true love is with a family. So Robbie and Patty, thank you for all you all do. My best friend for about 44, 45 years, Justin Long. He's a graduate here at Floyd Central. His brother and his sister graduated from Floyd Central. He's had 2 nephews graduate here. He's a transplant Keystoner from Pennsylvania, and he taught me how to love Penn State football, but also his mother could cook the best manicotti dinners and eat at their house. That Irish Catholic background came through, and we miss your mom dearly. So thank you. Getting through this here. Some of my coaches, Coach Freiberger, he taught me how to hit the curveball. Alan Taylor believed in me as a cross-country coach. Anna Prosser hired me, worked there for a while. Coach Kirk Knight for fundamentals in basketball. Stu's got his own language, as you know, like 2 ducks on the pond, and they'll say that dog will hunt, and Coach Joe Sequera, you gave me a chance to play on one of your all-star teams, and let me play other positions. Made me well-rounded, and I appreciate that. Gave me an idea of probably wanting to coach, because there's different positions on the field that we learn. Jeff Sequera, I can't say enough about him. This school has done a tremendous job with athletics, and for 16 girls, 16 boys teams to win titles, it's just unprecedented. And he's just like he's a hungry athletic director that just keeps wanting more, and he's always working. So thank you for what you do. We all recognize it. Now, with that said, I have 2 of my best friends here. They're great basketball officials, Richie Andrus and Andy Shad, here at this table. My best friends, they've got wonderful wives, Liz and Alyssa. And I thank you, ladies, for allowing your boys to hang out with me. And I promise we are officiating. We're not out having drinks or anything. We do have a good time while we're officiating, and get us to do some regional sectional games. We might get some more titles out here. We're pretty we don't cut favorites, and we do a really good job and enjoy each other, and really it's another part of what I think sports that some people don't understand. It's not an easy job. One of my favorite people's here this evening with this lovely wife, Ruthie. Ruthie's Pierce is retired New Albany Floyd County teacher. She also had me in class in junior high, and then I was blessed to have her husband the next year, who was then became my baseball coach, Coach Bill Pierce. And Coach, he taught me a lot in the classroom and on the ball field, but more importantly, when we coached together at IU Southeast, he taught me how to get up early before the other teams on the road trips in the hotels and raid the continental breakfast and pack your bags with all the apples and oranges and just all the food so the other team doesn't have anything to eat. And that way you have an advantage in that doubleheader because you have some food. And so those are just intangibles that we learn as coaching, and it worked. It got us to the national tournament. It was a great idea. So, no, Coach, he believed in me a long time ago. Thank you. It's been like a father to me since my past. Whew. Man, this is tough. No. Hug would be good.
My dad for you.
Mr. Joe Glover is here tonight. He hired me at IU Southeast. I believe that I was his first hire as an athletic director, and we did some nice special things with the softball program, and with his guidance, he allowed me to do a lot of things that sometimes is not part of the course. We like to think outside the box sometimes, and I think it works. And there's just a lot of great things that are going on off the Grand Line Road down there, as you know. All right, we're getting close to being there. Behind every good man or men, there are good women. And so here at Floyd Central, I've always noticed that the women and the staff here are just tremendous. And I had such a wonderful time when I was here, when I worked. I was security here a while, worked some grounds. I was just in between bouncing around with some things too. And just love being around these people. And not to leave any off, but I remember Mrs. Lockhart, Mrs. Stevens, Mrs. Stewart, Mrs. Feller, Mrs. Gentry, Mrs. Esri, Mrs. Schaefer, Mrs. Whaley. You all are, did I say Mrs. Schaefer? Yes, she's here tonight. They made coming to work fun, and they were very just supportive. And with Mrs. Whaley, that being said, I would be remiss to say one of the best moments that I had here as a security officer, and that was, I was a security officer without guns, without shackles. I mean, I was Rambo. I didn't need that other stuff, but we had a young man that he was getting a little wordy and nasty, and he pushed one of our administrators and knocked him down at the time, and he took off running, and I was like, well, no, that kid's mine. So I started running after him, and man, he was quick, but I just kept running because I just kept thinking of Coach Hinton's workouts. I can get this guy. So we're running down Old Vincent Road here, and he jumps the fence, and I'm like, no, I'm getting this kid. And while I'm running, I've pressed the two-way radio, so the whole office is hearing it. I'm almost to, I get him, and I hear the Mrs. Whaley go, Joe, you can get him. He's a smoker. So I was like, I gotta get him for Mrs. Whaley. So we went to this barbed wire fence, and this kid was so little, he went under it, but I was like, no, I'm Forrest Gumping this thing. I jumped over this thing, and I got caught on the top of my my plaid pants, and it just ripped all the way down here. So, long story short, I had clean boxers on. We're good. So I'm running. I'm trying to catch him. Didn't get to him, so I was disappointed. But Donnie Payton on his lawnmower got him up here. And so I get back, and she looks at me and she goes, "What happened?" And I said, "Well, I got caught on this fence." And she goes, "Take it to job at home and let them fix it for you." I was in Mr. Pierce's office in my boxers and found some shorts, and while they're stitching it up. That was a wonderful, wonderful moment. So I always gave 100% in what my job was, and I just thought, no, this kid's not going to win. But we did take that kid home, we thought, and when we pulled in the drive, let him out, we got in his house. Mr. Pierce and I left and came back to school, and we got a call from a lady, and the lady said, "Yeah, there's a gentleman or a kid in this house next door, and it's not his house. He doesn't live there." So we dropped him off at the wrong house. And then they passed a grant to have the actual real officers in this state. So that was my last time being here. But finally, this last few things here, some mentors that we lost this year that was mentors for me was Coach Rick Miller. He left us too soon. Was a great friend, coach, teacher, and just a beautiful person at heart. My degree in college is because of him. Bob Lane was New Albany Housing Authority Director, and he hired me to be Housing Authority Youth Director. And he believed in me and always supportive of where I would coach and games. And I think when I pitched in high school, because he umpired too, I think I was undefeated when he was behind the plate because he had the white zone. But it's always nice to make those connections. And I'd be remiss to say a good super fan that I always had was Chris Hilligus, handy to most of you. He was a big fan of softball and just Floyd Central and anything that we did. So we miss him too. He lost his life a little bit after COVID. But finally, I just would like to then finally end with a little quote from a Hall of Fame baseball player, Yogi Berra. He used to say, "I want to thank you all for making this necessary." So, thank you. God bless.
That story was absolutely true. That it did happen, very similar to the way he described it. I think there were some things over the walkie-talkie like, officer down, officer down. I think he said, "I'm wondering if his kids can beat him at basketball yet."
I'm close.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm close. I'm getting close.
So, as far as the administrator getting pushed down, I think Dr. Jensen probably deserved it. So, did he? Mrs. Whaley? I would think that he did. All right. So the other two things I took, the other thing I took from Joe's speech was that abusive coaching methods are encouraged and work. So, last inductee this evening is Kirk Randolph.